Can you go back down for me one more time? It says with the ability to see the potential of the relationship, right? You got to perceive it. You got to have the vision, as well as what we either consider agreeable, what we consider agreeable and harmonious based on our compatibility. We're able to avoid short-sighted decisions and combative circumstances. So once again, if we have established compatibility and vision, we should be able to see any and everything that comes against us, right? And discern it and place it in its right place in dealing with the challenge that we're facing. And no matter what we are facing, it will never be an irreconcilable matter. 3, 2, 1. Yes, indeed. You already know what time it is.
Hey, y'all.
We got BandZ here with ICU. Back at it. No doubt, no doubt. Excited to be here again this evening. Baby setting up again. So we'll be getting started.
Y'all already know. You already know.
All good, all good. You know what? Let's excuse me one second. Just reaching across.
Excuse me. Oh, wait.
And
all
then
right.
there was light.
All right.
We're excited to be here this evening. This is our third podcast that we're presenting to you all.
This one just the third.
Just the third.
All right.
Yeah, we started off with relationships, dealing with all that good compatibility, the chemistry, the suitability. We also dealt with vision. We also dealt with purpose and affinity. And so now we're going to focus on the compatibility and vision aspects. So tonight's podcast is called Relationships, Compatibility, and Vision. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit. But last week we did talk about purpose and chemistry and the importance of finding a purpose in your relationship. What's up, brother K Love? I see you up in here, my brother. Peace and power to you. But the power of purpose in relationship, and having that chemistry, the right elements present. So we touched on that last week and the importance of having, look, that baby got me on the camera this time. So I'm talking about, oh yeah. So yeah, we are going to continue to expand on these principles for the next week, this week and next week, and then we're going to get into some new topics, but we just wanted to definitely cover this in basis and talk about compatibility and vision this evening. And so we just want to thank everybody for tuning in first and foremost. You all, make this possible for us to be here. So brother Reach, what's up with you, my guy? Peace and power to you. So again, tonight, vision and compatibility. And so just taking a few moments to talk about what vision is, so we'll take turns. We'll do it this way, okay? Instead of going and read it off. So vision, one of the definitions for vision is the faculty or state of being able to see. You have to be able to see it and perceive that first and foremost. A lot of people may not be able to have that perception, and especially when you're dealing with spiritual vision, right? You can see things with the naked eye, but how many people can see things with that mind's eye, right? In the spiritual eye. So you have to have the faculty or state of being able to perceive that, okay? Very powerful.
And the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom.
Crucial. Imagination and wisdom. That's, again, using those mental faculties of imagination and wisdom, which lead really to the highest form of vision, which is dealing with prophetic vision, right? You got to have that prophetic revelation.
When I read that earlier, I was thinking of foresight.
Good.
do you have the foresight to see, like you asked me earlier, you know, do you have the foresight to see yourself with that individual that you are, you know, engaging with?
Right.
Is there a vision, you know?
Right. Based on the purpose of that, you know, and the elements of the chemistry component, the chemical components that make that relationship up. So now that you have, you know, taken into account what the purpose of the relationship is, and you're looking at all the elements chemically that are there in terms of, you know, what your values are, things of that nature. Now you have to be able to see how this is going to work. How can this matter manifest itself into a relationship that is going to be viable? We're going to talk about viability soon. And then is that compatible? And we'll talk about that also. Interestingly, the Hebrew word for vision is chazon. And that means to gaze at, right? To be able to put your eye on it, to gaze at it, to mentally perceive, to contemplate, right? Vision is also dealing with contemplation. And also a pleasurable contemplation. Are we thinking about things pleasurably? Or is it a grudge and a burden like, this woman? That's not the kind of vision you want to have, right? And then specifically is to have a vision of, to behold, to look at, and I was saying the highest imaginative and of the mental faculty dealing with imagination and wisdom and intellect is prophecy. To have the ability to prophetically perceive what the will of the Most High is in this matter. And then to provide, and lastly, to seek. So when we put all this together with vision, you know, this is the ability to really capture the essence of how to go about accomplishing that purpose and that goal, right? And that's powerful.
It is. I'm sorry, I was looking at my hair, babe, but I was listening.
You was having a vision of your hair, no doubt. But it's powerful because we're still putting our vision together, right?
I agree.
And to understand the purposes that we have, it takes that vision to manifest it. And we were having a conversation briefly this morning about understanding it's not just going to happen like boom overnight, right?
So ladies, that requires being patient.
And for us too. We gotta be patient with y'all when y'all being patient.
Absolutely.
And we gotta be patient with ourselves, but also you do have to persist in that. You know, you have to know when to move and how to move strategically, right? Because those things are going to allow for that vision to manifest.
You said something powerful, strategically, meaning being strategic, planning, you know, with vision, you have to plan. And it works as, you know, write it down, make it plain. And so that's important.
I'm not even looking at your camera over there. They gonna be in here. But peace, y'all. How y'all doing over there too? Much love to everybody. So on that note, writing the vision and making it plain, you know, understanding how to manifest vision in action. Again, you have to first perceive that, what the vision is. You got to see it. A lot of times, if we can't see it, we can't achieve it. If we can't see it, we can't believe it, we can't achieve it. So you got to be able to see something with foresight. That's great. You said foresight and insight and even hindsight, right? You got to learn from your lessons. So all those three types of sights are important: foresight, insight, and hindsight, right? All those make up an important thing. Go ahead.
No, that was good.
Okay, boom, wow. So you then, once you perceive it, you got to clarify and craft it into a viable plan, right? You got to be able to make a distinction of what this vision is about, right? And as we're talking about this is something we're learning and we're looking to apply into our life as well, because, you know, we're still, you know, figuring this out as we're going, you know, and it's a powerful process and a journey, because that's the beauty of a relationship. It's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. You can have those goals in mind, the vision of the purpose in mind, but it's about that journey to get to that place. So something to think about is, you know, what do you have in terms of vision for, first and foremost, even yourself, right? As relates to how you bring that into a relationship. What visions do you have with yourself? Because that is the part of the chemistry that's going to make up that relationship. You know, is it something that you can actually combine with someone, or is your vision completely solitary, like individual, like this is just for me? And so considering how you get into a relationship, you have to be able to see if your vision is in fact you apply to a relationship.
And that's interesting because I know that was something that connected us was our vision. That's how we connected, was our individual vision.
No doubt. So we were definitely chemically compatible in some way, you know, and it's still a learning process because I don't like her sometimes. I'm playing.
No, you being honest.
I have said that, but it's not in a negative like, oh, I can't stand this woman. It's just like, you know, behaviors. We got, and I know she feels the same with me because I got some things and I know she don't like as well. But you know, overall, when you're dealing with compatibility, and we're going to get to this later a little bit, but that it actually trumps all that little, you know, the nitpicks and stuff, because we're going to see how compatibility really works out all those little kinks, and it's so important. So again, you want to perceive the vision, you got to be able to see it, you got to be able to clarify it, distinguish it, and then get this plan going. And then you utilize intuition and wisdom, right? And experience. I will add experience into that, because a lot of times when we're dealing with baggage, we got a couple more minutes to deal with this. You want to just unpack everything and not bring it with you, but there are some good lessons you can learn in hindsight from your experiences that will allow you to make better decisions, which is the next part. Make a decision and then manifest the decision with action and endure and outlast circumstances to overcome. So those are some powerful steps that we can take to make the vision manifest, because there's going to be discouragement, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be obstacles that we're going to encounter, you know, in this journey of relationships that we have to learn to overcome.
And I would pose the question, like, how do you utilize your intuition and wisdom? Because in some of those things, we can use it negatively, right? And so we can, when we're prompted intuitively, you know, we can sometimes read it in a very negative manner, right? So we instantly hit it to perceive something negative, and my intuition is telling me, you know, this is this, and so we respond in a very negative manner instead of listening to what our intuition is telling us and be wise about it, you know, because sometimes our wisdom is just saying, hey, might be not for you to even respond negatively, but to pray about it, you know. And so we have to, that's me and that. So yeah, being careful about how you respond in that vision and action, because that's important.
Oh my goodness.
And so, hi, Mother Francetta.
No doubt. I haven't met you yet, but you know, Spirit definitely loves you. She's told me plenty about you, so definitely looking forward to meeting you. I know I did.
All right.
No, but this is important. You know, perception is so important. Just like last thought, because we want to kind of keep it moving. How we perceive things is so important. How we like see how individuals' behavior is. You know, we may create our own narratives, right? And I have had tendencies to do that in perceiving something that I may not find favorable in let's say, in she's, you know, demeanor or her, you know, her attitude or something like that. And I may take it personal. I was just telling her, like, I took it personal, you know, and oh, I did meet you. Okay. I'll have a short-term memory sometimes, so I beg your pardon. But we want to make sure that we are perceiving things properly and putting in the right place and using wisdom to discern, you know, what the circumstance is, and intuition to pray and to, you know, really capture the true perception of what this entire circumstance is, as opposed to just jumping to conclusions, because we have the wrong vision. You can do that a lot. And that's even in a relationship and just getting into a relationship. You may see something that you think is supposed to, you know, fit, but it may not even be what you're supposed to be seeing. But because you're seeing what you want to see, as opposed to seeing what really is there.
Seeing the attachment and not the assignment.
Caught up. Caught up. No doubt. And that's why we couple. Go ahead. What was you gonna say? We coupled this with compatibility because they pretty much go hand in hand with the mental faculty. So when you're dealing with the ability to have a purpose and a chemistry, you're dealing more with spiritual principles. With vision and compatibility, now you're dealing more with your soul, right? And so compatibility, you want to read the first one?
Sure.
This is so important.
Compatibility, being able to exist or occur together in harmony without conflict. Being able to exist or occur together in harmony without conflict.
That's powerful. Yeah, Mama Franchetta said the attachment and not the assignment. Ooh,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that definitely seems to always get involved in an entanglement.
Yeah, that's the entanglement. That's the entanglement.
Yeah.
And now you gotta find ways to cut that tie, that soul tie that you got yourself attached to. You know, and yeah, it's so much. Yeah. But this is where you take time to really see if this assignment is compatible, and this is where you have to use that vision, and it takes patience. And I think going back to patience again, that's something that we can set aside because of our desire. Right? Our desires have tendencies to accelerate things and to put, the carriage before the horse, so to speak, and not allow us to really get a full panned out vision of what is before us, right? And if it is in fact compatible, right? Because another definition, to be reconcilable, which eliminates any aspects of irreconcilable differences. So once you have established compatibility in your relationship, so down the line, given that principle of compatibility has been established, there should not be any irreconcilable differences that should occur in that relationship because you've established the grounds for compatibility with the vision, right? And so now we have agreed based on our purpose, based on our chemistry, based on this vision, and now this compatibility, this commitment is now being established in order to secure this relationship and this nuclear bond, right? That is connected by the man, the woman, and the spirit of the Most High. That's the nucleus, really, right? When you understand that, the proton being, I believe that's the negative energy, the negative particle. The electron is the positive particle, and the neutron is the neutral, which is the Most High. So you have the man, the woman, and the Most High, which forms that nucleus. And that's what makes this nucleus compatible when you have these elements all together with the atom. Exactly. So again, being able to exist or occur in harmony without conflict. And the conflict means that doesn't mean no confrontation. That means the conflict is not what is going to cause that atom to split. Right? That conflict is not going to cause a split for nuclear fission to take place, which is what causes explosions, right? So that's important. And then it's always reconcilable. When we have these tit for tats, so these not tit for tats, but these attacks, I just had a real good one. You understand that it's the couple against the issue. That's what makes it compatible as opposed to the couple against each other. It's not me against you when we have our disagreements. It's us against the principle, us against the issue, or us against the obstacle that is before us, which makes that reconcilable and eliminating any aspect of irreconcilable differences.
I mean, I think that solidifies to the commitment part, because again, we know that commitment is what individuals struggle with.
Right.
And like you said, it becomes an agreement at that point. So when you get into this, you are committing. And I think sometimes we really have to go back and read what commitment means, because I think we have lost the grip of reality of what that looks like to be committed. And when you're committed to something, you just don't quit.
Right.
You just don't walk away. You just don't turn around when you don't make the shot in the first time. When you committed, that's saying that you're going to show up,
right?
And work,
right?
So,
and work.
Yeah,
that's definitely huge. That's definitely huge. And we're in a generation that we just bounce from relationship to relationship, and it just causes us to incur more damage to ourselves as opposed to really understand that if I stick this out, there will be greater value and character, right? And love and appreciation for this relationship. Because here's the thing, we know that we have a creator. We know that we have a father and a king that is committed to us and gives us the opportunity to repent and to make the necessary rectifications and corrections to allow this relationship to be reconciled and restored. Indeed. Yes. My friend Shelley says submitting is also an issue. Submission is not negative. It's not. It's empowerment.
I agree. And you know, I had to learn that.
Still learning.
I am.
I'm learning
but
to
I
lead
do
too.
good
But
at
I'm learning to
responding.
lead.
True.
You are doing a great job. I would definitely say that. You are. We've both grown, you know, tremendously, you know, in the areas of respective role.
Agree.
You know, and we hold each other to it.
Yes.
So I can appreciate that. And I thank you for that. Wholeheartedly, no doubt. That's real talk, real talk. So that's great. Thank you for that, Mama Franchetta, no doubt. So you want to read that last definition, that good Hebrew word?
Is it azan?
Wonderful.
Okay. Hey, the idea of scales as if 2 ears to weigh, i.e. figuratively ponder, give good heed. Can you break that down?
No doubt. So thinking of scales, 2 ears, you're weighing things. Compatibility is to see if it balances, right? Do we strike balance? Do we strike a chord? Do we strike oneness in this matter, right? We're weighing out everything. So it's like you have to consider what you are agreeable with, if it's compatible with you. Can you be reconciled in this? So when you think of reconciling, you think of an account book. People accounting things, right? So when they're taking account of their business, they want to make sure the books are reconciled. Each dollar spent and each dollar earned, it balances out. Yeah. Right. So it's the same thing in a relationship. We don't want to have more debts than we have profits, right? The idea is to profit. The idea is to be in the black.
And we're not talking about profit like, is he paying your bills? Is he taking you shopping? You know, is he buying your baby shoes and clothes? You know, all of that. Let's not, because I know that's kind of the mindset of a lot of us women, but we have to maneuver away from that mindset and understand the true value of profiting.
I mean, that's powerful.
And I've been there myself, you know, honestly. So
that's powerful.
I get it. So I just wanted to clarify that.
That's powerful. You know, I'm just gonna leave that there because that's from the mouth of a sister. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, yeah, so you know what I'm saying, brothers, we ain't gotta pay for nothing, but you want to support your lady. You know what I'm saying? You want to take care of your lady. You want your lady to look good. You know, you want to treat her.
Absolutely.
You know, and get her gifts and get her things like that. You know, I strive to get her flowers every week, you know, and to appreciate that and just get a little gift. You know what I'm saying? Baby, got something coming in the mail in a couple days. Like,
all right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, make sure that it's good and balanced, you know, even in that aspect, you want to balance that. It's important. And so, yeah, that weighing out that compatibility is so important to make sure that it does strike a balance, you know, so that we are one as a relationship, in a kind of relationship.
But let's get to these, not to cut you off, because I'm looking at this areas of compatibility.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go for it. I just want to listen. Let it hit me.
So when we consider what areas that we want to make sure that we're compatible in principle with, you want to look at the values, right? What do you value? What is important to you? What are your goals, right? What do you consider a priority? What are your priorities? What are your interests? You know, what do you like to do? What are your beliefs? What are you convicted of? What are your convictions, right? What's your background? Can we agree on these things that we, you know, from our upbringing, how were we raised, right? What's your education like? And what's your lifestyle and your culture, right? These are very important because this is where you'll find that equal yoke.
And this is profits. This is what you like can call profits right there. Like those are things to profit from a relationship. Like those, this is what creates
wealth.
Wealth. Right. That's the assets.
Assets. Good word. Good word. Yeah, so that is what allows for that relationship to be fruitful and to multiply, because now that we're joining these forces, these two forces together, right? You're going to be able to create a reality together. And it may not, again, it's not going to happen overnight. These are things you have to work towards and build, right? And building up this foundation that we've established based on our compatibility, based on the vision, based on our chemistry, and based on our purpose. These are going to do nothing but proliferate. No doubt. No doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for all the loves and the likes and the support. We appreciate that.
So we did have two passages that we want to go over as relates to well, let me say this. Let me summarize this real quick. Let's do the summation of that. Can you go back down for me one more time? It says, with the ability to see the potential of the relationship, right? You got to perceive it. You got to have the vision, as well as what we either consider agreeable, and harmonious based on our compatibility. We're able to avoid short-sighted decisions and combative circumstances. So once again, if we have established compatibility and vision, we should be able to see any and everything that comes against us, right? And discern it and place it in its right place in dealing with the challenge that we're facing. And no matter what we are facing, it will never be an irreconcilable matter. And this is what keeps that nucleus established and your atom secure, because you want to protect what you love. You want to. Right? And if you love your spouse, you love your mate, you love the relationship that you're in, you're going to do everything you can to protect it. So that's very important. Very important.
That was good.
Hallelujah.
Chill.
So, did you have that vision, or did you have a verse for vision that you wanted to touch on? That's for compatibility.
That's for compatibility. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Did I close it?
I think you did.
Really, babe? Oh.
No, there you go. Move out back high. No, I think you should. I mean, I'm gonna let you,
What you say? You were saying where?
No, it's in there. It's in there.
I scrolled.
Sounds good. I mean,
that was the one I was initially trying to say, but I don't know. Proverbs 29:18, where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. And I'm gonna read it one more time. Proverbs 29:18, where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law.
Boom. You want to talk about? What strikes you with that?
What
strike you?
I was thinking of, in my head now, I'm just seeing prophet, right? So where there is no prophet, right? Those values there that we discussed. If those values, if that compatibility is not there, then what does it say?
You cast off restraint.
Like, there is going to be no hope. It has no fruit. And but blessed is he who keeps the law. And I think that was something very important in a relationship, is knowing the law first off and keeping it. And the law is not no fraud. Like I can say that, because even based off just looking at our relationship on keeping that law, like how you see the fruit, like you see things manifest when you do things in order. Yeah. And so law is about doing things in order. Here, order in the courtroom, order in the courtroom. Right. You know, you want to keep that order, especially if you want to keep order. If you want balance, then you keep order. Right. And that just reminded me of like the justice scales, right? And even looking at, and this is kind of off, but you spoke about scales, but even in the legal system, right? The balance in order is off. So there's no even scale right now. But once you obey, And you want to have justice in your relationship. And justice is just righteousness, being right unto your partner. And that's when they're there and when they're not there, you know, when it's just you, that's keeping justice, you know, in that relationship. You want to keep that.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of me, this verse here, you know, we have to see beyond our own thoughts and perceptions. A lot of times everything becomes arbitrary in a relationship. Well, I believe this. This is what I feel like, right? And if we don't have a prophetic vision, if we don't see things in a larger scale, in a larger, like, you know, vision prophetically, and understand the purpose of marriage, understand the purpose of this man and woman being together, we will cast off restraint. That means, look, I'll talk to her any kind of way. I'll be reckless towards her because I don't see her role. I don't see her value. I don't see her purpose, right? I don't see the chemistry that I'm like just causing to become volatile within her. I don't care how she's reacting. So if I don't have a prophetic vision and understand who she is in the Most High, and I don't understand who I am in the Most High, I don't understand who we are in the Most High, well, I'm going to cast off restraint. I don't care. So I'm going to speak to you sideways, right? But the law is the principle that allows for us to really capture who we truly are together, who we are as individuals and who we are together. And that's where the blessing comes from. That's where the favor comes from. That's where the fruitfulness comes from, the life. You know, you got death and life, and that's what we choose every day, whether we know it or not. All right, so dealing with right, those are all damaged versions of ourselves when we cast off restraint and we don't have that vision. Undeniably. So dealing with compatibility, we're going back to the beginning. It says in Genesis 2, verses 21 through 23, it says, Yah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and he closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yah Elohim had taken from the man, he made into a woman. That's Isha right there. And he brought her to the man. And the man said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman, Isha, because she was taken out of man, Ish. Right? So when we understand the dynamic of Yah's creating man and woman, and we find the one that we can say, man, you are like me. You're me. And I'm you. And we're us. That's when you start to get that established compatibility. And I know I've been looking for this woman my whole life, you know, to really have someone that I can understand. And not only I understand, but she understands me and gets me. And like, even if we just met, like, click.
Be careful though, because you know Satan is real and gonna be trying to throw some wedges in there, and you have to be careful to make sure you're not trauma bonding, because that gets us caught in so many. I think we're compatible relationships. I think this is my soulmate, when it's really trauma that has you bonded, and we discussed that so many times, and so we cannot misconstrue that compatibility with
trauma, right? And wanting to be attached to someone, you know. And I can say before I met she, you know, I was dating, but I had found myself breaking patterns when I was dating, because when I would date, I would find myself entangled, right? So I was like, man, I learned to overcome my desires and my short-sightedness. And so from there, when I met her, you know, we took time to really like get to know each other and develop a friendship. You know, like, this is my best friend. And we say that jokingly, but we serious. Like, she's my best friend. She's my best friend, like, for real. Like, you know, but we've established a relationship where we can actually, you know, have a friendship and not just be physically connected, right? Because that's where we lose sight of everything, when it's just a physical connection. You take that away from relationships, and you really get to see who you are in a relationship and how compatible you are or not. Because if you're basing everything on this physical connection, you don't really have compatibility. You got some chemistry, you know what I'm saying? there's no purpose though, really, other than just pleasure. And if pleasure is the purpose of a relationship, you're never going to grow, right? And so, you know, we got to make sure we find that right connection. That's excellent you brought that trauma bonding up, because man, that's a monster. That is a monster.
And you see, you know, so many people in these toxic relationships, but
right.
Yeah, stay on time, stay on time.
No doubt.
I think that we should pray us out tonight.
No doubt. Okay.
Felt it in the spirit earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead and pray out. So if we can enter into a spirit of prayer, we will close this out. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessed and great are you, our Father and our King, Yah Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Thank you for this day. We thank you for this session. We thank you for the words that you have given us, Abba. We thank you for just the opportunity to witness and to share our experience and our insights, Abba. We ask that the words that you have allowed us to speak are able to touch those who are here this evening and who hear it even in its recorded version, and that you allow them to find the favor that you have given them through these words, Abba, to help them to make sense of their life so that they may walk in purpose. They may walk in the right chemical makeup, Abba, that they may have the vision to go about establishing the purposes of their life, and also to be first at one with themselves, so that they may find that compatible soul, or to continue to build or to even restore that compatible relationship that they have with the partner that they have chosen to be with, Abba Yah. We ask that you just heal us. We ask that you touch us in the name of El Roficha, that the healer of all souls, Abba Yah, touch us, and that you give us shalom as Yah El Shalom, and that you allow us, Abba Yah, to restore our families, which are suffering and have been so historically just attacked. So we ask that you just surround us with your messengers and keep us from the enemy and lead us not into temptation and deliver us from all evil, Abba Yah, and that you pardon us for our trespasses we have committed against you, and help us to confess those and to turn away from all of our transgressions, Abba Yah, so that we may stand before you naked and unashamed, Abba Yah, and stand before our partners naked and unashamed, and truly know what it is to love as you love, Abba Yah. Continue to edify us and cleanse us with the washing of your word. Help us to be transformed with the renewing of our mind, to circumcise our hearts, to loosen our necks, Abba Yah, to open our eyes, to allow us to receive the conviction of your spirit, so that we may serve you without restraint, Abba. As we just magnify you and praise your name and thank you for all the many mercies that you have extended unto us. For we are not worthy of any of the favors that you have given us, but you have found fit, Abba, to keep us here to this day. So help us to take into account all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. Despite our faithlessness, you have remained faithful. But help us to commit ourselves to you this and every day from here on out, Abba Yah, until kingdom come and beyond. As we pray these things, not because we are worthy, but we ask you receive our prayers in the name of our high priest, in the name of our king, in the name of our prophet, in the name of our Messiah and our Redeemer, our Messiah, Yeshua, blessed be his name. Hallelujah. 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 Amen and amen. We want to thank y'all for tuning in this evening. I'm B.
I'm She.
And we out.
Holla.
Shalom, shalom. What's up, Auntie? I see you in here. All right, now, peace and power, y'all. Much love. Good job, baby. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.